everybody, Lori here from Unique in the Creek. For today's live, I'm going to be using one of our Christmas tree kits. This is going to be the Farmhouse inspired Christmas tree. We're using some sage colored mesh, and we're using some black and white picks and black and white check ribbon with snowflakes and some open weave 5/8. We're gonna bring in a pop of burgundy in there. But yeah, and of course we're using the Unique in the Creek triangle board. Hello from Wisconsin. All right, so I'm going to be using the Unique in the Creek triangle board. I'm using pre-cut sage. It's just a plain sage colored mesh. The mesh is 10.5 by 10.5. So with this petal, you'll just want a square. Do not wood burn or heat seal your mesh for this petal. You will not see any edges. We love that for us. This is the triangle board. Okay. I'm going to be using all of the rows. So from row 12 to 1. I preloaded all the holes from row 6 up. May not use them all. Okay, so this petal fold is going to be, I think I might call it the bell petal, because it does look like a bell. Hold on. But a lot of people were asking me about doing a ruffle. I have done a couple ruffle Christmas trees, and I just found the ruffle is really too bulky and big. So I've been playing with mesh and I came up with something. Okay, this is, like I said, a 10.5 by 10.5 inch piece of mesh. Okay, I have my factory edge at the top and the bottom of my square. All right, I'm going to use a couple clips and I'm going to use some rubber bands right in front of you. Again, top, bottom, factory edge. I am going to bring the bottom up to the top and line up the edge here and just put a clip. Okay. Line up both factory edges and we're going to make a crease at the top. Just like that. Piece of paper. Then I'm going to fold it in half. Again, my factory edges, making sure they line up. It doesn't matter if your mesh doesn't line up, it's not a big deal, but we're going to make a crease so we can see where the middle of this is. Okay. Open it up. You can see your middle crease. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take, I'm right-handed, so I just always start with the right corner here. So if you're ever following me, my tattoo is my right hand. Okay, so if you're following step by step, making your petals or whatever, you can follow my tattoo. Take my corner and I'm going to bring it to the center here. About, I can see through my mesh on my cutting board. I'm going to bring the corner just before the center, about an inch up. Okay, corner. I can see I have the edge of my mesh on my line here on my cutting mat. I can see the 1 inch. I'm going to bring that corner up to the 1 inch. And I'm just going to put a clip. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Take my corner. Now I don't need to use the lines because I'm just going to use this corner just like that. Okay, there we go. So we got kind of a V happening here with our mesh, right? You're going to have mesh kind of sticking up the top past this line at the top here. And I'll explain why I'm folding in and all this stuff, okay? We're going to do a few of these. I'm going to flip it over. You can see where your middle, still where your middle line is. You're going to pinch and pleat twice. Okay, so from the middle, pinch and pinch, bring it into the center, and then pinch and pinch and bring it into the center. Okay, I'm going to rubber band mine just so I can make a few more of them for you. And my clip just went flying. And there we go. It's a flat ruffle. A very flat ruffle that's not going to cause a ton of bulk. Okay? And it may not look like a ruffle right now, but once we start putting them on the board and they layer, you're going to see the edge of your petal and it's going to make ruffles, but not messy ruffles. And the reason I fold in an inch up is if you try and fold it without going up an inch, you're going to have the inner part here. I'll show you. You'll have the inner part, just hold on. It won't be as nice and flat and it'll be messy, watch. So this bottom edge here, see how it's peeking out? You're going to see that from the front of your wreath. We're trying to hide all the messy part of the mesh. Does that make sense? So this, when we bring it up an inch, see how it's nice? This one makes a lot of bulk. This one doesn't. This one sticks out the bottom. And we don't want this sticking out the bottom. Okay? Let's do it again. Now, if you do the measurements, every petal will look exactly the same. So if you do have a cutting mat, it's good to use the cutting mat just so if you want uniform petals. So I'm just kind of matching the two corners right there. You can see it kind of has a slant. Okay, let's flip it over, pinch. Pinch, pinch. Oops. I flip it around and pinch again. And then again, you can put an elastic band. Now, the petal, wait till you see the petal on the board and you'll see what I'm talking about. Look at that. It's a bell. Okay, so you don't see any of the nastiness in the back and there's no bulk. So I am going to be adding these picks that I did onto the rows, okay? So on row 12, I guess I tried to go ahead so you guys wouldn't have to sit here. But we're gonna put a petal in every zip tie on row 12 with every other having one of these petals. So you can see I started with check, black, check. Now I'm going to use black. So we're going to put that in. I'm going to put the black leaf in. And we want to put it in so they're all the same length. And do up your zip tie. And I'm going to clip it, and then I'm going to hit that with just a little bit of glue so the petal doesn't come out. The next one, I'm just putting just mesh. I'm going to put it under so it doesn't get, it's just every other that is going to get one of these petals. So I have 5. This row 11, we're not putting any petals. Row 10, we're going to be putting petals. Row 9, no petals. Row 8, petals, and I mean petals meaning the black and white. 5, sorry. Drop my gun. 8 petals, 7 no petals, 6 petals, 5 no petals, 4 petals, 3 no petals, 2 petals. You got a total of 32 petals. I have 32 petals. We're only going to be using, I believe, 5, 10, 14, 19, 22, 24. So we're only going to be using 24 petals. So we'll have some extra petals that I'm going to add into my bow. Okay. So again, we're going to do a petal, and then this one, or a piece of mesh, and then a check. Now when you're doing a Christmas tree and you're doing the edge here, you want to angle your petal with the board so you don't see the outside of the board, okay? And you want to make sure with these petals, you want to make sure that they're all the same length. Okay, and we'll put this in. Again, it's being angled just a bit and zip tied in. Now if we did a ruffle, this would be all really, really bulky. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right over top. Okay, so that's row 12. There's the back. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 petals of these on row 12. I really didn't think every zip tie needed one. I thought it would be too much, so that's why I only did 5. Row 11, we're not doing any black and white. Okay, no black and white, just petals, and it's every other. Okay, so there's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just the mesh. Okay, so grab the center, again, angle. Now you can put these in a bit shorter so you can see the leaf peeking out. So there's my rubber band, but the end of my deco mesh petal is almost to the next row. Just so I'm not hiding all of these. So you make it just a little bit shorter. This is such an awesome petal. Okay, so we got 5 of these, and once you do one, you just make sure that they're the same length, and then do your zip tie up. All right, so that was row 11. Row 10, we're doing every other one with a petal again. I got my laundry basket of petals. So I sat yesterday and played with mesh and made petals. All right, so this one, I'm gonna put the petal in, or I keep saying the petal. Black. Again, you're gonna angle it and do it up. The next one is just mesh. I'll put that one under. I'm sure I could probably, once I do this once, like I've said, I've not done this before. A lot of people were asking me for a ruffled Christmas tree. But like I said, the one I made before, I felt it too bulky. This is a lot better. Next one is just mesh. And just kind of tuck it under. And then I'm going to put right in the center just trying to make sure that all my little black and white leaves are the same length. Now, right smack dab in the center, I'm not going to put any mesh, but I am going to put one black leaf. So it sits in the center just like that. Go shorter. Okay, now I'm going to go across and give a little bit of glue to all of them. Right across, right across. I did that one. And this is just preventing if somebody grabs one of the leaves or something, it prevents it from slipping out of the zip tie. Okay, the next row is just mesh every other. I'm going to make sure that all the ends are same length. And obviously you can play around. You probably, like I said, won't need as many pieces of mesh as I've used, but we'll see what it looks like at the end. It's looking really pretty right now, isn't it? All right, we are on row 8. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 petals. So we went black here, so we're going to do check here. And with this bell petal, you can see how it's very neat looking. There we go. All right, row 7 is just petals. Okay, I'm going to do a checker. Again, you can play around with your color combos and stuff. I know, I love the color combo too. I love the sage with black and white. That's why I kind of said it was more like a farmhouse theme. That's what it reminds me of, farmhouse. Plus we have a black and white bow we're going to put on top. all those with some glue. Make sure all your leaves are the same length before you hit it with glue. Okay, these ones are just mesh. From the front. Okay, so black, check, black. Makes a beautiful petal. I'm gonna have to try this on like the large board with some ribbon, like ribbon tails. I bet you that would look really pretty. Ooh, I'm likey. Me likey. So that was row 4. Ooh, it's turning out really pretty. Okay, row 3. I have just mesh. I probably only need 2 pieces though, even though I put 3 zip ties. So if your one side of your bell is higher, okay, say for instance like that, all you have to do is adjust up at the top. So we'll just pull this down a little. So make sure that they're even. Yeah, I think I only need 2 on here. Sometimes you don't want bulky because you want your ribbons to sit nicely sometimes, right? Okay, so row 3, I only used 2. I don't need 3. Okay, row 2. So the extra leaves we have left over, we're going to incorporate them into our bow. Or you can add, you know, if you wanted to add your more leaves down at the bottom or throughout, that's totally up to you. But you do have 32 of these leaves. I'm going to make that a little bit shorter in the zip tie. I just think we don't need 3 on row 2. definitely going to have to play around with the different boards with this petal. Ooh. Very farmhouse looking. Very, very farmhouse looking. So, exactly what we wanted. Okay, that's it. Let's see what we got here. That was some glue. I am going to put some mesh up at the top here so our bow doesn't sink down, but let's see. So these leaves are wired throughout, so you can bend them and stuff. So we're just gonna kind of bend them down so they don't look like, ah! Oh, I love it. Oh, you guys can see a better angle now. So pretty. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of mesh in here. You can play around. Do need layers in between because when we do this petal, it's not very long. So you need that overlapping. However, we probably didn't need a piece of mesh in every other row. So play around. All right, so we are at the top here. So let's flip it over. Look at, there's our back. Beautiful. I'm gonna put, before I get a whole bunch of stuff on row 1 here, I am going to put a zip tie down and up for our hanger. Okay, that's something to hang our Christmas tree on. And now I'm going to, I am going to put some mesh to bulk it up here so we can put our bow on there. So I'm going to go down the same hole I just went with the, for the hanger. Okay, so the hanger's on the back way. Look at this. And let's put some mesh. Just, you won't see this mesh that I'm going to do right here, but we're just going to bulk it. Put a bulk bundle kind of right there. I just made a tiny square. Let's see if that works. So there is the edge. And then I'm just going to put this around. That gives enough bulk for that, for our bow to sit on top of and not see this piece of mesh. Okay, that's good. Good for me. So I literally just folded it in a small square. Okay, here's what we got. There's our back, our hanger. That's where I put that piece of mesh. We are going to be going through these holes again, so they're triple used. Hole, the middle holes on row 1. That's where our pipe cleaners are going to go down for our bow. Okay, so let's make a bow. So we got this beautiful checkered ribbon with snowflakes on it, and the snowflakes are glittered. Look how pretty. Got that, and then I'm gonna come in with a pop of red. Well, it's not really red, it's like, well, dark red, burgundy-ish. Okay, so we're gonna pop this in to break up some of this color. Okay, I'm gonna get my bow maker out here. Pipe cleaner, we got our 2 ribbons, we got these leaves still. I got 1, 2, 3, oh god, I got lots. 4, 5, 6. I still have 7 of these we can incorporate into our bow somewhere. I think I'm going to start with this red in behind. I think I'm going to layer it with this burgundy, and then I'm going to come in with this, and then burgundy on top. Okay, I'm going to do 6-inch loops with this. And it's going to be like, why are you using that? This is going to be in behind the black and white. Makes it really loopy. So I'm doing, I think I'm going to do 5 loops with this red open weave. It's all wired, so we'll be able to position this ribbon wherever we want it once it's in. So I'm going to do 5. So there's there's 3 on each side so far. 3. Dare to be different, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 more. So this is a burgundy-ish dark red open weave. Okay, last loop, and then we'll cut this tail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm playing around with different ways to make bows so you guys don't have to. So if this turns out absolutely stunning, then you know how to make it. Fold these in. Okay, now I'm going to come back with the 1.5 inch black and white check with the snowflakes. Okay, so I'm going to make a long tail. Make some long tails. It's better to make them long and cut them back. So this is 24 inches. We'll put these in with glue after. Okay, so I'm going to do my tails first because I like them coming out the bottom. Okay, so it's 24 inch, 24 inch. Okay, and then I'm going to come in, we're going to do 3. I'll do 3 of these. At about 5.5 inches, or 5. 5.5, just so the red's kind of peeking out. So we're going to do 3. Yeah, 5.5. So there's 1 on each side. So when you're making your bows, you want to give yourself, pull your ribbon so you give yourself lots of lac on your ribbon spool. Half twist in. When you do that half twist in, it's bringing the bad side up. Okay, I'm just going to cut this off here. We'll get rid of that little piece. Okay, and then I'm going to come back in with the red on top of that. Long tails. So I'm making these 24 inches as well. Okay. And then I'm going to do 3 again, just a little bit shorter, so maybe 5 inch. there's lots of bow tutorials out there, so if you don't like this bow, there's lots out there. I'm just playing around, see what we can come up with. Because if you don't play, then playing is how new things evolve, right? Somebody's got to play around to make new things. All right, so that's 3 at 5 inches. And then I'm going to do two more loops at a little shorter at 4 inches. And we'll see how it looks. And then we're going to add in our extra leaves here. Oh, it's going to come around. I think I'll just end it right there. Yeah, looks good. And then I'm going to get a zip tie. Okay, I'm going to bring the whole stack right out. No, not too many people do this, but I have my zip tie right there. I'm going to bring the whole stack and put it right on top. Keep it all nice and stacked. And come around just like that. I'm going to bring this to the back and slide a pipe cleaner underneath. Tighten it. Don't tighten it too tight because we want to move some of these loops around still. Okay, what I'm going to do, I have that little piece here. I'm just going to put a little dab of glue right on the zip tie there. And then I'm just going to come around and just go over top. So it kind of covers that zip tie up. And then we're going to put it on the board. And then once we have the bow all fluffed and everything, I'm going to glue in some of these extra leaves we have here. So you're going to take your 2 pipe cleaners and we're going to go right down the same zip tie we have put that piece of mesh. So there's 1. And 2. Ah, don't stick. Ooh. Okay. So there's the back. We're just gonna give it a twist. And cut these off. Make sure everything's nice and neat and professional looking. And then we're gonna fluff our bow. Okay, I have to roll these up because it wants to stick. Okay, I'm going to dovetail the end of this. Roll it up. Okay, now let's open loops. I'm going to start from the back. We have 5. Okay, I'm going to open the black and white, get in there and open up those loops. I'm going to open the 3 and then the 2 4-inch ones. It's different. Okay, wow, look at that. Can you guys, I don't even know if you guys can see how pretty that is. So we've got a bunch of red loops coming out. Oh, one over here behind. And then we're going to add more black and white with the leaves. So that's why I didn't want to put too much of the black and white check into my bow, because we are going to add some of these. So what you can do, if your bow's done, which I think mine is, I think I like it. I'm going to put a little bit of glue and we can tuck it into our bow. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the end of my one there. Get it in there, and there. Really breaks up. So I'm just kind of putting the stems with the glue in between the layers. Okay, we got 3 more of these. I need a new glue gun. Santa, I have to put on my list that Santa needs to bring me a new glue gun. Okay, one here in the middle. So I got one here, and one in the middle. These 2 are more towards the back. Okay, and I have one more left, and I'm going to put it kind of at the top, in the top here. Coming out from the top of the bow. that bow. That bad boy. Get some of this red coming up from behind here. I love it. Okay, let's do the... Won't fuss too much with the bow, but until I put it on my door. All right, let's fix these. Likes to stick to the mesh. And I'm just going to fold the ends of this in. Wow. And I'm going to pop a little bit of hot glue under that bow so it sits on that piece of mesh that we added. So I'm just pumping in some glue, and I'm just going to kind of bring this forward. And we'll hold it. That way it's just sitting on the mesh properly. Hold it up so you guys can see it. It'll look much better. There's our beautiful bow, which I'll fix all the loops again a million times. And then go right down with our beautiful layers of mesh and the leaves. What do you guys think? Pretty, huh? Different, cool. I don't think I need to add anything else. That's it. These don't want to stay. When something doesn't want to stay, we just put some glue. I want to keep these two red loops up near the top, and they want to keep falling. We'll glue them so they stay at the top. There we go. In between there. All right, my friends, that's all I got for you. Just wanted to show you another way to make a Unique in the Creek Christmas tree. These Christmas trees are awesome for anybody that's in a retirement home or possibly in the hospital. Give them a little bit of cheer. You can put them on their wall, on their door. Very pretty, especially if you like farmhouse. So there's the front with our new petal, and there's the back. Nice and professional. There is the side. So it fits between two doors, and it's very thin for shipping purposes. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.